Hey folks, Simulation Fly Nation here, and welcome back to Project Survival with a bit of an update today. It's all change. We're gonna have a little bit of a mix-up here, I think. We are currently in December. We're on Elm Creek here, and I feel like Elm Creek is running its course. It's a great map. It's a great starter map, but I've been feeling this itch and this urge to go somewhere which I never thought we would go. Somewhere that might prove a little bit of a different challenge, something that might prove to be no challenge at all, but we'll have to see. It's just going to be a little bit different than doing the same old contracts for not very much at all. We're going to sell up. We're going to move off this land here. We're just going to sell everything that you can see in front of us here. We're not going to sell the land itself because that will change how everything proceeds. So we're just going to sell all the equipment, the greenhouses, the hens, and everything that's here. We're going to go over to no man's land. So bear with me. Let's make this change. We'll go and start up. I got an idea of where we're going to start and how we're going to get going. So we need to get that working. But first of all, let's get everything sold. Well, so there you have it, folks. We're not selling off the equipment. We're going to take that with us. We're going to need all of that there. We've got an apple tree that we haven't sold off either here yet. So we need to get that one done. That was just a new addition. And barring a few bits of eggs there, we're probably going to lose. That's us done. We've got 25 grand in the bank. Not quite. Let's just sell that apple tree. And then we are off to our new ground. So let's go and get ourselves set up. And let's see how we can make this worthwhile. Make sure this goes for us. So we need to go see how we can buy a piece of ground. I don't even think we've got enough money to do that. So we need to figure out that. We need to buy our ground. We need to take our equipment across there and figure out what that start's going to look like as well. So onwards. Let's see how we can get this going. Alright folks, welcome to No Man's Land. And we have a plan. We're going to take a leaf out of North American history, really. Both in the US and Canada. Throughout the late 1800s and the early 1900s, they introduced something called the Homesteading Act, or the Homestead Act. Now, what this act enabled you to do was, if you're a citizen of either country, you could actually apply for a parcel of land. And if you could prove that you were a worthy worker of the land and a farmer and were able to transform that land into something productive, you were able to keep hold of that land and then to expand on it. That's the very, very rudimentary basis of the act there. It would also allow to benefit returning soldiers from various different conflicts and to give them something to establish himself with as well. What we're going to do is we have been heavily subsidized a parcel of land here. We still have to buy it. We still have a loan of approximately £85,000 that we have to repay, but we have a plot of land and we're going to set up a farm. We are going to try and farm this ground as effectively as possible. It's around here actually. We're going to plot 37 and only then can we look to actually move on and extend and buy more land here. As you can see, it's pretty barren. There's not much on it bar a few trees. We're going to have to look to sell some of those, unfortunately, as well, just so we can get a little more revenue coming in. But we need to make some fields. We need to establish ourselves. We need to get a crop off here, and we need to make some money. So welcome to our farm. Let's have a walk around and see what we have to do and what we can do to get a little bit of money coming in. So plot 37 is our ground. As you can see, there isn't much here, really. Well, there's nothing at all, but we're going to change that. What I fancy that we'll do is our steading will be in this little lee here, really, with a little bit of shade and protection from this little bank. We're going to put a shed up here. We do have a few trees that we can look to knock down here, just get a little bit more revenue coming in. I bought a chainsaw, and we're going to look to do that. But we also need to get some revenue coming back in here. So what I think that we need to do is get ourselves a source of shelter, really. We'll put up a shed. And at least from there, we can kind of establish where we are and what that looks like. So, do we want it to be that shed? That's not much of a shed. Or do we want... I mean, neither is that equally. But let's have a look, see here. If I look into here, I want it to go kind of right in front of me there, really. So, let's have a look at that. Now, as I mentioned there, we will have to kind of pass this stage of the Homesteading Act. We need to be able to prove that we have a good building. So, and we have a farm, and then we have a good homestead in which to work with. So that's exactly what we need to do. That's where we are there. Just want to make sure that I'm establishing a good point here. I don't want to... If I go right in front of me there. Well, I mean, it's down. It'll do. It'll do. We've got some work that we can get going with around this, I'm sure. So I mean, it's a rough shed, but it's a shelter. We can work with that one. We have 21,000 or nearly 22 grand there to spend. Obviously, we kept our cultivator as well. That's at the main at the store there, so we need to get that back. We'll put a little bit into here. What I'm gonna do as well is just paint the inside of the shed there. I'd never like it looking like that. Asphalt. Let's just make it a bit of a gravel. I think that'll be better. Make you bigger. There you go. And a bit of an apron out the front there as well. All right then. So that's looking better already. Let's get this Bowser put in. Now, I'm not going to spend quite as much money on greenhouses as I did. I am going to get a couple of apple trees in here though. And we'll get those the hens as well. We will let to get going. Whether or not we do quite so many of them, I don't know. We may well not bother, just because it looks like it's well, there's not quite as much money in there as there once was, and we also just need to be a bit careful about going too heavy. What I would like to do, we have a lot of ground here that we can look to oh, that's loud. A lot of ground in here that we can look to mow. And once we've mowed it over there, I want to make some hay off here. All of this land really I want to make hay off, at least just to get it stripped down before we look to plow anything in and creating new fields. I think that is a must. So we need to look to get some of that equipment. We have a beautiful mower here that we're going to look to purchase today. If we can afford to, I'm hoping we can. Look at that. Lovely and simple there, but it's going to do a great job for us. At 2.5 grand, you cannot go wrong. So we'll take that. We'll also look together. I don't know if we've got we have a tether there. We may look into getting as well. A little bit expensive, but we'll cross that bridge. What we need to do first though is get some money coming back in here. So let's get a couple of apple trees planted. They are expensive. But let's just put one about there, and we'll probably just do one for now actually, I think. And then we also need to figure out where our water source is and what that looks like for us to sell. Do we have a sell point on the map here already? It looks like we do, so we can definitely look to sell off some of our produce that we make. There's a water source over there as well, which is good, so we can probably look to get one greenhouse there, I think. And let's just see, if not a greenhouse, there is another option as well, which I do quite like. And it is the exposed, the little garden patch really, for want of a better phrase there. Not even a greenhouse, just a regular old garden patch. And I think we will just stick that about there. Perfect. So that will give us not much money coming in on the daily, but it'll give us something. And that's a nice enough start. What I'm going to do is going to take the chainsaw to some of these trees. We'll get those knocked down. We'll see how that looks, see what that looks like for us to get some wood sold. And we'll take it from there. Alright, and folks, well, we are officially lumberjacks now, I think. We're just going to trim this tree down here. We're going to see what we can do to take these bits away. And then, well, from there, we'll have to just see how much we're going to take a trailer load away. We have a mower to go and pick up as well. So we're going to try and do a bit of everything at once here. Because I just want to be able to, there you go, see how much we can actually make for this. There's I'm kind of playing with fire a bit because I chopped another tree down and it didn't fall over. So we'll have to see how this all does. There you go. Now what I need to do is cut this up into nice small bits that I can lift it up. Falling away there, please, and thank you. Now, there's a lot of trees on our property here. We're not going to look to take them all off there today. That would be a little bit too excessive. And we'll just see how we get on here really as we go. But yeah, we've got the basics that we need to get at least some work done and get a bit more of a platform established, because ultimately at some point soon we're going to have to pay off some loan, and also I don't want to lease equipment to to complete jobs there. I want to try and own it where I can, so we want to be able to expand. So things we need to look into are hay equipment, and also something to start plowing and cultivating the ground with as well. So we'll have to see about that one. All right, let's see if we can get this all tucked into a trailer. There you go. And we'll take this first load away. Like I said, it's a very small little setup to begin with. It will get bigger. We will add to it. We have to add to it in order for us to be able to expand further. We can't, we need to show that this is going to be productive before we can look to add any more plots of land, if we ever do get to that stage. So it'll be a fun little journey, I'm sure, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not quite sure how much we'll get for this wood, or if it's even viable to do it this way. But this is our only option at the moment here, so we'll have to see. Do let me know if you think of anything that would be good to proceed with. I did think it was going to be a little bit more viable, rather than just doing contracts that weren't worth a great deal. I think this is going to be a little bit of a better option for us here, moving forward there. And also, it's nice to get away from Elm Creek for a little bit, and we'll see where the journey takes us there. I'm always very intrigued about that. Oh, this is a bit of a mess. Better. No, it does look like that everything you need on this map is all at that first sell point there anyway, which is great. I'm happy with that. And now I might need to go. This is only one tree and it's nearly a trailer load, so I like to see where that's going. Easy. Perfect. Drop those ones down. Seems a bit heavy. There we go. Alright, now there's a tree here, like I say. One of these has already been cut. I think it's this one. Yes, it is. Now, let me see if I can just make this actually fall over, I guess. Do that. Fall down. Oh. Thinking about that. Leave a bit more of a wedge there, see if that'll get it to come down. Hey. Not in the tractor, not in the tractor. No. Oof, flip my neck. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, we'll get this one all trimmed down there. We'll see if we can load it all up there. And let's go to the shop. Let's see what this is going to do for us for a return. Pick up our new mower and our cultivator if we can on the back of the trailer. Then we need to start get some land cleared up there so we can make some fields and make some production here. Well then, we have got our load behind us. Not a full load there, left about half a tree up in the location, but it's enough for us to get going. What I really should look to do is get a little bit of a road put through here when I can afford to. Just through to this main little track here. We do have to cut across land that doesn't belong to us though, which is less than ideal. So we'll have to figure out what that one looks like in due time. But yeah, we are now going to see what this returns. Pick up our mower that is down there as well. And we should be looking good. So hopefully this will allow us to really take that next step. Allow us to bring back our mower, obviously. Allow us to start to mow that ground down. I'd like to get enough money that I can afford to get all the equipment I need, like a hay bob and also a square baler, just so we can bale that ground up, sell the bales off, and then start again. Because then we need to start to parcel up this ground into fields that we can then look into producing something in. So all kind of a few dominoes to fall here, which I'm looking forward to. Actually, it could be really fun. But fortunately, the work that we put in on No Man's Land now will really kind of benefit us moving forward, much as the work that we put in on Elm Creek set us up now with a tractor, a trailer, a cultivator, and everything else. So should be looking good. Let's see how this goes though. To start with though, what we need to do is starting off, and then we'll see. Like I say, I picked a bit of ground that wasn't fully forested, that had some options there, but also had a lot of ground, empty, sparse grassland that we could really work off. So we'll see how that goes. But it's nice having everything quite close by here, that's for sure. And I think for the wood, we actually just need to pop over here and sell it over here, I do think. So let's see how this goes. We'll just stop out there. Up some more and actually get out. Looks like we can also sell off all of our production things here as well if we get to that stage. Be really good. Look at all those cereals. It'll be really good if we can afford to buy a production unit at some point. That'd be great. And obviously, let's go sell wood. Oh, 2.5 grand right there. There you go. From one tree. Well, one of the bit trees. I like that. That's a nice little boost. Obviously, as well, that means that if we could afford to, you know, there's a lot more money to make from planks than there are from trees themselves. So that's always something we should factor in. What I'm going to do now, though, is figure out how I can get this mower onto this here trailer. What I'm going to do is just knock this here. Have to come back from the cultivator. We don't need it at the moment, though, so we've got plenty of time to come pick that up. At some stage, we'll have to look to get some form of a diesel tank up at the yard as well. But these are all things that we don't need quite yet. I wonder, or I hope, I can just fold this thing up. There you go. Will it allow me to just drop it over the side? Not that way. Okay. Right, well, we'll figure this out. We'll get it in and then we can get ourselves away home. And we'll start getting a bit of ground knocked down. We'll join us next time where we'll be mowing some ground down so that we can actually get a little bit of hay made here whilst it's nice in August. The weather is great for it there, so we'll get that some hay made, and we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, be able to clear some ground and get some fields made up there at the same time. So we shall see you all in the next one. Thank you very much for watching anyway. I hope you have enjoyed. This next step in Project Survival here as we begin the homesteading act on No Man's Land. Until next time, I've been Simulation for the Nation. Thank you very much for watching as always, and we'll see you all in the next one. Catch you later.